Nigerian authorities have secured the release of 100 children who were among hundreds kidnapped from the Catholic school in Niger State. The rescued children were presented to the Niger State government after medical evaluations and will be reunited with their families. Armed gunmen kidnapped hundreds of students and 12 teachers from St. Mary's School in the Papari community of Niger State on November 21. This will be our focus on Nigeria today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ikaria Clinton. Now with me in the studio to discuss the release of the 100 students in Niger State is Dr. Yahuza Getso. He's a security expert. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Thank you for having me, Ikaria. Good evening, viewers.
And joining us via Zoom is Dr. Kingsley Uzoma. He's a security expert and chief consultant, Eagle Rescue and Alarm Systems. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria today. Okay, you can help us by unmuting your. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start with you, Dr. Getso. How did you receive the news of the release of, 100 abducted children?
I think you can see from my face.
That you're smiling, really.
A lot of smiles, signs of joy, signs of happiness, signs of motivation and encouragement. And really revealing that the newly appointed Minister of Defense have started hitting the goal by working into his promises, by ensuring that these children will be released, will be brought back to their families. We must commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the promise he made, because he quickly sent a message of concern. A message of concern directly and verbally to the parents. A message of concern emotionally to his face when he was addressing Nigerians on the abduction of the girls in Maga and the ones in the St. Peter. Emotions in the sense that he made a declaration of emergency on security. Also send a signal to the international community that Nigeria really needs a support in terms of capacity building, in terms of transfer of technology, in terms of innovative mechanisms that will help Nigeria to get out of the bedeviling security challenges. It is quite good. And I congratulate myself, I congratulate Nigerian Television Authority for the effort you have made so far. Day and night you were so reluctant. You didn't sleep until now. I can see the happiness, the joy from the faces of all of you, the staff, since I come in. So it is a sign that really we are, all Nigerians must join hands in order to attain the desired objective. We cannot, it's not only the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, neither the Nigerian Armed Forces, neither other paramilitary agencies, other security agencies, neither the government policy makers or implementers, nor the legislature or executive or judiciary. But all hands must be on deck. I believe that those who are holding the remaining children will soon release them to be returned back to their parents. And we commend the Niger State government for their efforts also in partnership with all other stakeholders to ensure the release of these 100. And we hope within next 24 hours or so, we will be able to have the remaining children being brought back to the parents.
Thank you for that opening remark, Dr. Getso. Now, Dr. Uzoma, we've had the opening remark of Dr. Getso on the release. Of course, obviously, he's happy that at least we've secured the release of 100 students. So we have some students released. We still have more of them in the, in the captivity of this, in the den of these captives, or still hold them in captive. So tell us, what is the security implication of this?
Well, the security implication of it is that, yes, while we seemed to be happy, it also called for sober reflections, because if you look across different media channels, the word is that they were released, meaning it's those who held them captives, the criminals, the bandits, and the kidnappers that actually released them. Not quote and unquote that they were rescued in its technical term. I would have loved to hear that, okay, 100 has been released or rescued, then so number of bandits were neutralized or killed. So we shouldn't maybe make events looks like there was an arrangement somewhere that some form of state agents know where they are, and at an agreed time, then they were released. We shouldn't handle bandits and criminals with kids' gloves or things makes it look like we are playing politics to try to please some kind of international communities for them to feel like we are doing something. In the first place, why should our girls, our pupils, our kids, why should we even face the risk of kidnap in the first place? If you go to the police force headquarters or the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, sometime last year or the year before, they all established units and departments called Safe School Project Initiatives, and money were mapped out. So if we already have an existing unit where intelligence were gathered, and based on the circumstances of yesteryears, few years ago and things like that, the police considered it fit to establish a unit that should be responsible for safe school. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps also have a large unit that, so why should the kidnap take place in the first place? Okay, and if that happened, and at the end of the day we are hearing a release, is a good news, but it should go far more than that, because the episode of events as it unfolds makes it looks as if it's more of a politics than a genuine release. Because I want to hear maybe tomorrow or next, even if we want to agree that the first batch 100 has been released, we are waiting for rescue of others. The same military or those who rescue them, we want to hear that 100 bandits, 10 bandits, those who held them captives have been neutralized, okay, exterminated from the surface of the earth, so they don't repeat that again. Not that tomorrow the average Nigerian wouldn't want to hear that they've been rehabilitated or repented and reintegrated into society. If they had that audacity to invade the school in the first place, took away pupils, girls, and held them for captives for numbers of years, then they should be sent back to their makers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Uzoma. Now to you, Dr. Getso. I know Dr. Uzoma has mentioned some of the issues, that we should, take into cognizance, that there's still a lot to be done in this. So, before we go into what more should be done to avoid these kinds of events from, happening, from recurring. So, what should be the priority of the government, after the release of this set?
Well, the priority of the government should be outlined in 7 things. 1, government should take necessary steps and measures in order to ensure the security and safety of all the schools nationwide. There was an activity even going on now in Abuja for building or developing a security master plan for tertiary institutions, which form part of the government commitments in kind of working towards that, which need to be cascaded, not only the tertiary institutions. There should be a national security master plan on how to safeguard the institutions. Number 2, the Parent Teachers Association need to strengthen working relationship in triangular. The PTA, that is Parent Teachers Association, the security agency, and the government at the center, to come together and have a harmonized strategic working template that will help in mitigating and ensuring that all schools are secured and safe environment for learning, because any society or any environment where the education is in such kind of bedeviling shock, because none of the both boarding and day students is now comfortable in Nigeria because of what has happened. So there is need to strengthen that. Number 4, there is need to improve on surveillance mechanism using the community-driven approach, where all members of the respective communities, the host communities where the schools are, will now identify a vigilance strategy for which a surveillance and communication mechanism with the relevant responders. When I say responders, I'm meaning of all the security agencies around, in terms of ensuring that having their necessary contact numbers, in terms of engaging the hunters, the vigilante, and all other informal security sector that we have within the environment, and for government not to continue to challenge or to say that vigilant are not doing well, this and that. No. How do you strengthen them and bring them under the coordination and auspicious supervision of the joint task force of government security agencies, so that they can also be an added of number to what we have in situations like this. Number 5, government must be ready to take the fight to the hideouts, if there are hideouts and enclaves and places where all these bandits are. I've said it before, I said it yesterday, and I'm going to repeat myself. 99.9% of the bandits are known to us. We know them, we know who they are, we know where they are. A senator stood before the Senate president in less than 11 days back and made mention that we know the bandits, we know who they are, we know where they are, and we know what they want. That is from the senatorial perspective. Governor Dauda Lawal Dare of Zamfara State and that of Katsina State, and even many other policy senior government officials at local governments, state and federal levels, they have proven what I have been discussing in the last 11 years. They have been certifying and bringing a testimonial to my statement that we know the bandits, we know who they are, and they are part of us. They are not from anywhere. Anybody who thought that the bandits committing these atrocities in northwestern state and part of north central, as well as even northeastern states that are foreigners, I think that person is deceiving himself. Yes, of course, the fall of Gaddafi and other crises in Africa have made ways for many of the sophisticated arms and ammunition to be imported by foreigners into Nigeria. Okay. But who are the arm movers? Nigerians. Who are the arm traders? Nigerians. Who are the arm transporters? Nigerians. Because they are the ones who know the environment. I believe more than 90% of those who are importing the arms are foreigners. I believe. And there are so many evidences which I have tendered before many
I'll stop you here, Dr. Getso. You know, you've mentioned that we know them. They're in our communities. These persons, they are not foreigners.
Yes,
they are within us.
Absolutely.
So, and you also talked about maybe strengthening the local, maybe vigilante, if I get what you're saying.
Yes.
So how do we strengthen the vigilante group? Remember, these the bandits, some of them were alleged to have been given guns in the past for one reason or the other. So how do we strengthen the local vigilantes?
Well, we can strengthen the local vigilante using the 5 outlines. 1, profile them by polling unit, by political ward, by local government, by state assembly constituency, by federal constituency, and senatorial constituency. Profile them, understand their background, and document it through any of the relevant agency that may be assigned by the government based on the constitutional provision for utilizing such available resources as a resource mobilization. That is 1. After profiling them, conduct a thorough background check, because there are maybe unscrupulous elements, so that you don't end up engaging those who will mastermind more attacks and cause and lead to more dangers than otherwise. So after conducting the background check, you also build their capacity in terms of operations, in terms of intelligence gathering, in terms of intelligence utilization, in terms of information sharing, And number 5, synchronize their working activity to be under the auspice, control and supervision of the relevant joint task forces that we have, security task force that we have in the respective 774 local government. Not only to the front LGS or to the front states. No, let it be to the 774 local governments that we have in the country, so that we can be able to prepare ourselves and boost the capacity of our security operatives. And then number 5, ensure system of monitoring, evaluation, assessment, and ensure that as time goes on, every other 6 months or every end of the year, we do what is called need assessment and also SWOT analysis to understand the strengths, the weakness, see the opportunities, because more use, if you engage and modernize and make them more formal and under control, definitely there are many other youths who will be ready to volunteer to also be part of it. Because youth that we have that are migrating to rural, to urban cities in search of livelihood, it is not in their best interest. Because in the cities, they are struggling to feed themselves only. While in those their communities, if they support this initiative, they will be able to cultivate their farmlands, they will be able to pattern their cows, sheep, goats, and the rest of them, and they will make more money, and then there will be peace and development, and they will not be thinking and having a blood pressure of thinking of what will happen to our parents while we are in the city, because they cannot move with their parents. And then government will be able to control the rural-urban migration and then address the socio-economic and socio-cultural as well as the security implication of the rural-urban migration.
Thank you, Dr. Getso. But again, you will agree with me that this pattern of kidnap is becoming a norm, where all of a sudden they go into a school and they gather lots of students. You know, of course, we still hear of kidnapping individuals and all of them, but there's a particular pattern they are now taking into. Now, what strategy, looking at this new trend, what strategy do you think that, you know, or what would you say about this kind of strategy that the kidnappers are using? And how do you think our security operatives can...
Well, the strategy these kidnappers are using are simple. One, they move around with sophisticated arms and ammunition, much more than AK-47. Their operations are beyond using AK-47. Two, they have informers who are part of us. Like the bandits are part of us, the informers are part of us. And three, those who are providing them with the social services are not us. Healthcare, because they eat, they drink, they have medical attention. Because they are human, they are not animals. Even animals used to require medical attention. And they live more comfortable than you may ever thought of where they are. And they are not living far away, more than 5 or 10 or 30 kilometer radius from the communities where they are. We know their parents, we know their poor parents, and they are living within us. And we know each and every one of them. If we don't know them, how comes many LGS in Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara invited them for what I call waste of time, whereas they call it dialogue? How do they get access to them? They know them, they know who they are, and we know them, we know who they are. So since they have this strategy, and we can profile them by polling unit and by political word, we can profile each and every bandit, each and every kidnapper, each and every person that is carrying gun, we can profile them.
Okay,
by profiling them, we ensure that government reach out to them for two things. One, surrender your arms and take the amnesty if necessary. It depends on government policy. Otherwise, government take necessary robust action by deleting them, because you cannot continue to confiscate the lives and the population of the larger with where you are minute. It's not all Fulani that you believe in what the Fulani militia are doing. If at all, they are all Fulanis. Because I know there are many among them who are not.
I don't think a particular is a particular.
No, I need to make it very clear. That is why I am authority in that field.
Yeah.
Because I go down to the communities, and I believe it's a combination of everybody.
Yeah, of course, it's not really about.
It's not about tribe. It's not about a particular.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Now, Dr. Uzoma, it's becoming a kind of. It does seem that this trend is becoming a little bit lucrative for these people to continue to do this. How do we stop these kinds of kidnappings, and how do we make it unattractive for the kidnappers?
Okay, that's a very wonderful question. To make it unattractive, one, government should stop treating kidnappers, bandits with kids' glue. They should stop playing politics about, you don't negotiate with bandits, you don't negotiate with kidnappers. You don't call them or give room for amnesty. Yesterday, about 5 years ago or 6, you made reference to this, that if care is not taken, making reference like those, there are some political figures who kind of gave a justification. If amnesty was good for the Niger Delta militants, it should also be treated the same in the Northwest, Southeast, and what have you. So that is the political dimension of encouragement or fertilization of this criminal act. Okay, security agencies, especially the DSS, should live up to their responsibility. The military department of intelligence, the police force intelligence unit should activate their intelligence antenna. The moment these guys are fabricating this, cooking this evil, they should be able to hunt them, nip them at the bud. The essence of the police, their existence, is for forced crime prevention. But here we seem not to prevent any crime. We react. And when we are reacting, it doesn't make sense that a government that has the wherewithal, security-wise, economic-wise, will be negotiating with bandits. Or the news we should be hearing today is that after days in captivity, that they were released. As against they were rescued, and so number of bandits or criminals arrested, and this. And no, that should be the information. I am happy in one way, but in the other way around, it's a sober reflection. We shouldn't be here and be praising a government for the release of 100 pupils or students. It sounds more of a political, but government. Person, this number of arrests we are made, and these are weapons recovered from these bandits, meaning that in the next 100 days or 1 month, that there are no hiding out for this criminal element. You see, it's only in this country that criminals, bandits, kidnappers come to TikTok on live video with their faces and everything, and it's there in social media, across different social medias, and we have the DSS. We have the NCC and others working together, but somebody will make a political statement somewhere, either against somebody in political or the harmless person, and the next day you see these same security agencies going after them. Then that means we are in serious. That means we are the one breeding and nursing these bandits.
Thank you very much, Dr. Uzoma. So what will be your parting word? How do the way forward? Well,
the way forward is government need to prepare ground. Because up till now, as far as I'm concerned, we are not ready to prepare ground in fighting insurgency in Nigeria for so many reasons. One, what are we doing to deal with the corruption? We need to do everything possible to handle that. Two, we must be ready to hold people accountable for the responsibility and authorities given to them. You can't have officers, men and officers being promoted every now and then, while they were given a responsibility of a given territory, either state, local government, or region, or zonal, or whatever, and they are managing circumstances supposed to have work with the communities to ensure the security and safety of lives and property, but people are being killed, and the same officer will tomorrow be promoted. And then demoralization of our personnel. If government continue to allow the payment of ransom, if government cannot trace the whereabouts of this money, and if government cannot go after these guys through by tracking them, through people like Dr. Geso who keep saying that we know them, we know where they are, through communication channels, using, collaborating and partnering with the MTN, Airtel, Etisalat and the rest of them, if we cannot also hold people accountable for their statement, like the honorable, the distinguished senator who made the statement, the governors of Zamfara and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much.
We cannot and we will never get to the right and the promised
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, Ikeria. Thank you for having me. Thank you, the
security expert. Thank you so much for your contribution. And via Zoom, we had Dr. Uzoma, Kingsley Uzoma, security expert, and chief consultant, Eagle Rescue and Alarm Systems. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for being part of this. I am Ikeria Clinton. Goodbye.